Hi, I'm John Geddes, Mayor of the City of Rock Hill, and it's my pleasure today to welcome two of my three favorite Southside and Regional Ambassadors, and I'll let you guess which is my favorite in a second. Today, we're Charles Robinson, Jarvis Miller, and Meek is not here today, but she'll always be everybody's favorite Southside Regional Ambassador. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, tell me a little bit about yourself and what is a Southside Regional Ambassador? Jarvis, I'll start with you.
All right. Well, I am a nearly lifelong resident of Rock Hill, having both of my parents being born and raised here. And then because of my dad's military placement, I was born out in California, but I've lived here my whole life and done my whole schooling here. I am in graduate school at Winthrop, and I ended up being a regional ambassador through a partnership between Clinton College and the community to form this program. So half of us were chosen as employees and the other half came from the community as representatives of the South Side.
All right. Charles, known you for a time or two.
Oh, yeah. I'm a lifelong resident of the city of Rock Hill. I was educated at Emmett Scott, proud graduate of Emmett Scott, class of 1968.
Yes, sir.
And I went out to college at Livingstone and returned. My first job after college was with the city of Rock Hill on a program called the Model Cities Program. At that time, we had just been recognized for the first time as an All-American city.
1969.
That's right. And I joined them in 72, so the program was up and running then. Gave me an opportunity to interact with the community and work on a lot of the projects we had at that time.
So life sort of come full circle. You're back in the game, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah? So tell me, what generally does a Southside ambassador, what are the duties entail?
Well, it's quite a comprehensive thing. We were trained in a partnership with North Carolina A&T University and their Leadership Institute, as well as a private community organizer, Miss Theresa Good from New Bern, North Carolina. And so with her and Dr. Michelle Ely, we had a 10-week intensive course where we all got to know each other. We met Saturday mornings for a few hours. So we did give up our weekends. So there was already that idea of altruism and sacrifice and volunteerism within the group. And then from there, we were instructed on how to do everything from, help people plan their own sort of ventures within their community to hosting town halls, creating budgets for NGOs, just various things that an ambassador who is trying to help people within their own community get in contact with resources and maybe start some own things for themselves. Because the big part of the ambassadors is restoring an idea of empowerment to the community that we work with.
Yeah, it reminds me of Empowering the Vision, Charles, to go back a way.
Absolutely.
Now, you're a graduate of Emmett Scott, and we just opened the renovated McGirt Auditorium. Tell us a little bit about your experience both as a student at Emmett Scott and now coming full circle, introducing and empowering the younger generation.
Oh, great. I happen to be an honor graduate of Emmett Scott, and as I had the opportunity to participate in an ambassador program, this was after I had already been with the Inside Rock Hill,
Right.
which was an excellent way of being engaged in various departments and so forth. Then looking at the ambassador program, we focused on 360-degree leadership, which involved being integrated with a variety of the players, the stakeholders, if you will, in the community, and becoming a part of the voice. The rededication of Emmett Scott was just a phenomenal experience, to see a lot of the people that were graduates of Emmett Scott at that dedication, and to really see Emmett Scott and McGirt Auditorium become like an Apollo Theater.
Yeah.
A place for culture and us to be able to utilize the talents and the rich history that we have here. It's just phenomenal.
I agree. And I think Clinton College actually will have their spring graduation at McGirt Auditorium, I understand. So already plugging into the community, and congratulations on your roles in that. what other things do you see coming out of the South Side in the next 3 to 5 years that you feel real strongly about?
Okay, yeah. So we have a regional park that's opening up that I think is going to really reflect the recreational aspect of our city. Growing up here, I'm a nature lover, and I love how green our parks are. They're filled with trees and fields and open spaces, and you find it really easy as a community member to have access to some of the things. I mean, I've been to many birthday parties at Cherry
Right.
Park, and so just the idea of this regional park coming in with baseball and softball offerings and football, and then you think about what it's going to do once it's connected all the way through the town. We are working on many other projects. The thing about being a relatively new entity is that we still get to figure out what we want to do, and many of our members are already tirelessly working in the community as NGO owners themselves, or working with education and different business fields. So it's a mental health. So there's a nice amalgamation of interest and already work being done, and we're able to turn what we're doing into things that help the community. And so to be a liaison and connecting force, I think is what you're really going to see from us.
Yeah.
I've also been quite impressed with, of course, Cherry Park.
Right.
It's near and dear to my heart. Having the opportunity to see how family and having a place after work to really unite with other neighbors and so forth at Cherry Park. That is really, really a special place for us to be able to communicate, commune. When I was employed at Rockwell International, I had lots of opportunity to relocate to other locations, but I remember one in particular in the Raleigh area. As I took a view of the city, I came back saying it's something missing. They don't have a Cherry Park. And I remember talking to Mayor Betty Jo Ray at the time, and she laughed and she said, well, that's all a part of the renaissance
Yeah.
that we have here in Rock Hill. So as I look at Regional Park, I'm thinking, my goodness, what an expanded view where we're able to attract people through parks, recreation, tourism, and just have a phenomenal type economic impact.
Yeah, sure thing. The thing about what I'm excited about on the South Side especially is there's just so much energy and vibrancy that comes from just seeing a success story like McGirt and other success stories that build on each other. And it's sometimes messy because everybody has great ideas and you see people start working on those, and some will rise up and we'll see come to fruition now, and some are just starting, but we really want to see the outcome for a decade or 5 or 15 years. How do you manage expectations while at the same time, make sure that we keep this vibrancy and vitality still going? It's hard.
Yeah. Well, one of the other best practices that we've had through the city of Rock Hill is lifelong learning.
Yes, sir.
And just delighted to be a part of it. And it acts as a conduit to connect various communities and help us focus on those core values and provide training and learning experiences. So that's just another one of those crown jewels that
Yes,
we
sir.
have here at the city of Rock Hill.
Yes, sir. And the music trail, the talk about a music trail down along Crawford Road to Clinton College. Jarvis, anything to share about that? Or
Yes, several members of the regional ambassadors have been invited to be on that subcommittee as well.
Right.
And we are looking at prominent musical figures who have come from the South Side and from Rock Hill, and we want to honor them and their legacy. As Mr. Charles was saying earlier, the talent in this area is real. It's vast, and sometimes not really all that well recognized because we're outside of the big city.
Right.
But I tell you, I sing opera in Charlotte. I've been doing so for 18 years, and I know, that what's going on here is really important, and we're going to it's a walkable trail. So we want people to be able to live in their communities and have feet on the ground and have things to enjoy. Maybe you want to just take a leisurely walk one day, and hopefully it'll be some biographical information about the person or the group, and then the contribution to the art scene here over the years.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I couldn't help but reflect on those professors at Emory Scott,
Right.
the Frontis Brooks, Booker T. Brown, who taught an old country boy like me how to sing before 1,000-person audience.
Right.
And, it's just beautiful to be able to reflect on those memories.
Yes, sir. So our youth that we have on the South Side, what do we tell members that are coming into high school or college, and how do we explain what you do in such a way that they would have interest in getting involved?
That's actually one of our newest projects that we're really trying
Right.
to do is focus on, like, how do we get a younger group of people to come in and be with us? And because as a younger person, being here, I've gotten to see Rock Hill really grow.
Mhm.
I was enrolled at Winthrop when the college town plan was really being formed, and now 15 years later, I'm still here living as an adult, and I'm back in school at Winthrop, and so I guess for the youth, I would say we really take for granted what it means to be rooted and grounded and planted in a place. And in areas like Rock Hill that are so family friendly and so community oriented, you find yourself not wanting to lose that type of relationship with those around you. And so we have all these visions of going far off, and we ended up living right here at home. And so home really is where the heart is, and Rock Hill has many things that the children and youth can do now, but when they're adults, they'll be able to give back and then pave the way for the next generation. And so I would say, from that standpoint, just the opportunity to stay here and not only experience the things that are on the way, but then make sure that we still have new things coming for future is something that the youth can really hold on to.
Yes, right. And Charles, you mentioned earlier lifelong learning, which is a program we have at the city for those 55 years of age or older to get involved, take classes, making sure people don't just sort of wither away. So what would you tell someone that's older or more mature in life, I'd say, that lives on the South Side to reassure them that we're not going to lose our heritage or our history? How do we factor that into our plans going forward?
Well, all of the courses that are offered at through lifelong learning are very relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's being able to use a smartphone or iPad, and right now we even deal with AI.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of things that could help you and in life in general. And so whether you're a member of AARP, where you're also focusing on how you can live your best life
Right.
as a senior citizen. That's what lifelong learning is all about.
Right.
And I couldn't help but just reflect on after working with model cities, I gravitated into we call it personnel management
Right.
back in the 77. And I had gone over to Winthrop and got my master's degree, master's of personnel and industrial relation. That put me in a position to be a key startup manager with Rockwell International when they came to York, and they needed someone from the area that would be able to help connect the employment and also the businesses, that kind of partnership. So it's a unique opportunity for us to be able to be deeply rooted in Rock Hill and be able to have the kind of future that is going to help take us into a moonshot kind of.
Yes, sir. That's a good way of putting it. One thing I hope people will take from your work and the work of Councilmember Perry Sutton and Councilmember Derek Lindsay and the rest of us on City Council is that McGirt was first. And the way we renovated McGirt to bring out its history and its heritage, rather than going in and trying to make something new to represent, everything that will still be.
Yeah.
And that's a testament, I hope, that everybody can sort of take some comfort from in knowing that, we're going to be true to our history and our heritage. Jarvis, any thoughts along those lines?
when we were able to see the renovations and having gotten to know Mr. Charles over the last several years, when they said that they saved the legacy bricks,
Yes.
and that's just one of the examples of like, I don't even know that we personally asked for it. It was just something that they knew that would be meaningful. And I think sometimes, with the certain climates, around the way certain things function in modern times, people sometimes feel left out or forgotten. But to have that reassurance, not only like a verbal reassurance, but then to show up to a place and know that they've already begun to prepare it for you is something that we could really, settle in, and then realize that that there are people here for us and that are thinking about us, and that we should meet them somewhere, so that it is a job of the city, in a way, to preserve the heritage, but heritage comes from the people.
That's right.
And so the more that they can pour into
That's
it,
exactly
is
right.
how it's preserved. And so the buildings and things, they mean one thing, but the folks that walked through the hall and did the work there, they're the ones actually living the history. And so as long as we have these vibrant lives that persist in the South Side, we're always going to have something worth holding on to.
Amen. I agree with that. It's all about relationships. Everything is about relationships. Charles, you know that.
It's unique to be able to say if we truly live in a beloved community, where the parts just connect one another. And as we bond together, we help make life be a better place.
Yeah. Amen. So what else do we have to work on the South Side? We've got to get some jobs on the South Side, good paying jobs, which we're seeing out in the Porter Road area and coming in. More housing, which we've got some plans across from the regional park. What other things do you see or in your roles that we need to make sure we're working on going forward?
The first one that comes to mind is that the South Side is still a food desert.
Yes, it is.
And that's something that many people, we live in a time where people have access to information and they really want to improve their health. And they know that what we consume, especially on the food level, is a major part of that. And, just healthier options and something that's closer. We are thankful for, sidewalks and pavement,
Right.
but now we need places to go.
Yeah.
And so the diversity of what we have to offer as far as shops and, stores and grocery stores, I think would be a next, really big goal for people.
Yeah, that's a watershed moment when you solve that. No doubt about it. Charles, your thoughts?
I'd just say ditto.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So we've got some areas of the, I guess the area, the South Side area that we're seeing more interaction in and more work. I'm thinking about Flint Hill Street with the work that's going on with the stormwater stuff. We've mentioned the park.
Yes.
We've also got Armory Park on Salute Avenue, which will start its renovations this summer. A couple $1 million being pumped into that park. And so far, what we're seeing is a lot of public investment in public areas. We've got to get the private investment really dialed up there. Any magic thoughts that might help us sort of encourage those private landowners to step forward and start putting some investment in the South Side?
Well, yeah, I would say that there are people there.
Yes.
So you're not trying to start from scratch.
That's
You don't have to make a city. Like, their homes, their lives being lived, and all of those people have the same needs and many of the same desires and wants as everyone else anywhere else. So the idea is that, we can't, the partnership, where it is a business and then their patrons. If the South Side needs businesses there, then we really do need them to come there, because there are people eagerly waiting to support people who see them as folks worth providing opportunity to.
And good development will
Yeah.
bring people from with all of Rock Hill
Yes.
to drive numbers up, not just for neighborhood markets, right?
That's right.
And that's what we're after, is how do we make sure that we see a good economic investment in the South Side privately so that we can see public benefits to everyone. Any last thoughts you want to share with people about the work of the South Side Ambassadors? Can you become a South Side Ambassador still?
We are working on how to keep the project going.
Right.
There were 17 of us that were trained and completed the program 2 years ago.
Right.
And then, just to keep it as an ongoing thing, because we don't want to be the only group of people that receive this training. It was so valuable, and I learned so much. And it opens you, especially as a younger person who's looking for, what is my legacy going to be in the second half of my life? I really found some purpose and some meaning in those classes. And so we're hoping to get, The other valuable thing is that there's such a large group.
Yeah.
And then back to the youth thing, we want teenagers, people in high school and college, who also have that vigor and, those bright ideas. We need all those folks there. And so we are actively discussing, how do we keep this going? How do we sort of like inside Rock Hill, where it has like a semester thing, and maybe not that often, but something that does keep it fresh and vibrant.
But the long and short of it is, we don't need more ambassadors. We need just more attendees. The ambassadors will help lead those attendees, those participants, to affect real change in Rock Hill. Correct.
Right.
I think one of the challenges, though, is when you look at urban farming,
Yes, sir.
that opportunity really needs to be addressed, and see how we can continue to have success through the urban farming because of the food desert.
Yeah. And to have artists find ways to express themselves and all the things that build a community. Well, Charles Jarvis, thank you. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your passion for Rock Hill and for our future. Thank you all for joining us today. It was a pleasure to meet with our Southside ambassadors, my second and third favorite ambassador. Meek's not here. We'll count her as our joint first, correct?
Yes, right.
We'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.